Puhi-huia and Ponga by Peter Gossage. Puhi-huia and Ponga by Peter Gossage. The people of Mangafo, which we know as Mount Eden, were always fighting with the people who lived in Awhatu on the Manukau Harbour in Auckland. Both peoples wanted the best shark fishing ground, which was at Puponga. They were all of the Tainui tribe, so when people began to get killed, the elders made peace. All was well until someone went fishing, then the trouble started up again. During one time of peace, the people from Mangawhai visited Awhatu. Among them was a beautiful young woman called Puhi-huia. Ponga, a young warrior chief of Awhatu, fell in love with her as soon as he saw her. Some time later, the people of Awhatu returned to visit Mangawhai. The young men stamped a haka to welcome the people onto their marae. Puhi-huia dashed forward, rolling her eyes and twisting her face and body in a wild dance. Ponga's heart was filled with love for Puhi-huia. Ponga led the people of Awhatu in their haka of reply. Puhi-huia admired the handsome young man. That night, Ponga couldn't sleep. He went outside and sat in the darkness where he was joined by a slave. "Are you thinking of the beautiful Puhi-huia?" asked the slave. "Everyone has fallen in love with her, even our leaders. If I try to take her for myself, they will kill me," said Ponga. They sat thinking for a long time. The slave whispered a plan to his master. The next night, the rangatira of both tribes sat around the fires, talking about the deeds of their ancestors. When they had all gone off to sleep, Ponga called to his slave, "Bring me some water." Puhi-huia's mother heard him. She prodded her daughter and said, "Are you deaf, girl? Can't you hear our visitor calling a slave? Go and get him some water." Puhi-huia lit a torch and took a calabash to the spring. Ponga saw her through the door and called out, "Where is my lazy slave? I am so thirsty." He went outside and hurried to the spring. "I am thirsty, but it is my heart that thirsts for you," said Ponga. Puhi-huia and Ponga spent most of the night together. They crept home before dawn, as they knew their people would not approve of their love for each other. On the morning the visitors were due to return to Awhatu, Ponga sent his faithful slave ahead to Onehunga before the sun rose. He told his slave to cut the lashings of the Mangawhai canoes and to launch Awhatu's canoe and keep them afloat. The young people of Mangawhai went with their friends from Awhatu on the first part of the journey as far as Onehunga. Puhi-huia's father shouted to her, "Don't go too far, girl. Come back, all of you." Puhi-huia began to run. She caught up with Ponga. Hand in hand, they raced towards the canoes with the warriors of Mangawhai angrily chasing after them. Ponga, Puhi-huia, and the people of Awhatu set off across the harbour in their canoes. When the warriors from Mangawhai tried to launch their canoes, they fell apart because the lashings had been cut. At Awhatu, people were angry and worried that Puhi-huia's people would take revenge for her running away. "Take the girl home. I will not break the peace because of Ponga's foolishness," said the Awhatu chief. Puhi-huia leapt to her feet. "Do not blame Ponga. I came here freely. He and I will face any war party that comes here, alone if we have to," she said. The chief was impressed by Puhi-huia's beauty and bravery, and Puhi-huia was welcomed into the pa. Soon a canoe full of warriors arrived from Mangawhai. They demanded Puhi-huia's return. Puhi-huia defiantly shouted to them that she would never leave her lover. If her people loved her, that they would come to her wedding feast. No answer was given, and the canoe from Moangawhau sailed away. All that night, the people of Moangawhau discussed the problem. Some wanted to attack their friends at Awhitu and kill Puhi-huia and Ponga. However, most people agreed with the oldest tohunga, who said, Puhi-huia has invited us to a wedding feast. Send a message that we will come to her the third day after the full moon. But Puhi-huia's mother did not agree. She gathered the women at the pa. The men are not in on this. Let us attack Awhitu, she cried. The women dressed themselves up as warriors and paddled the canoes at Onehunga to Awhitu. Puhi-huia's mother challenged the people in the pa to come out and fight, but they would not. Meanwhile, Puhi-huia and Ponga went to a cliff that overlooked the beach. Puhi-huia recognized her mother and the woman from Awhitu. They're all women, said Puhi-huia. She shouted, I will not come back to Mangawhau alive. If I be your best, you must return home. Several young women threw off their clothes and swam ashore, clutching their weapons. Ponga tried to stop them, but Ponga tried to stop Puhi-huia, but she advanced towards the women, holding a taiaha. Using a whalebone mere, one of the young women swung a wild blow at Puhi-huia's head. Puhi-huia gave her attacker a violent blow in the stomach, sending her to the ground. Another woman thrust at Puhi-huia with a short spear. Puhi-huia leapt to one side and gave her a heavy blow to the shoulder. The woman dropped her weapon and fell out of the contest. A third girl attacked and was felled by the blade of Puhi-huia's taiaha. One after another, they were defeated. At last, Puhi-huia's mother stood up in the canoe and called out, That is enough, girl. Let us return to your father. Will Kupe return? Puhi-huia sneered. Puhi-huia's mother saw that she was defeated. I shall return for your marriage feast, she said. A great feast was prepared at Awhitu. Fish were netted, fern root was dug up and dried, sharks were caught, pigeons speared, pepe collected and cooked, and fern tree roots were steamed in the ovens with pawa that they had been taken from the rocks. At last came the day of the feast. When the people of Moangawhau arrived, they were entertained with dances and speeches. The chief of Awhitu went to a heap of treasures on the marae. They were huia and albatross feathers, cloves, greenstone, and many other taonga. These treasures are for Puhi-huia's parents, the chief said. Then the visitors from Moangawhau placed their gifts in rows on the marae. Puhi-huia's father touched them with his staff. Powers of darkness, powers of light, gods and ancient ones, children of Hotu Nui, here are your taonga. You are my treasure, my beautiful daughter. Puhi-huia, you are leaving me, but you are not dead. Farewell. The courage of the young wahine who had stayed true to her love was rewarded. From that day, Puhi-huia and Ponga lived together in peace and happiness at Awhitu. The end.